Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, rovers. Today's video is an absolute juicer. Kuro have dropped the drip marketing for Galbrena, meaning she will be playable in what is presumably going to be version 2.7. And since we have so many teasers for Galbrena, we also have a lot of hidden information. So I'm gonna keep this intro short. Enjoy the video. Alright, so Kuro say this about Galbrena. Galbrena, fiend of ever-burning flame, Discord Slayer. Ooh, okay. She has been to hell and back through countless battles, deepest darkness, and much more. She hunts going from one hunting ground to another and will never stop hunting. So basically, Craven the Hunter, with this hellfire to consume them all. Now this is pretty interesting. So they have hellfire, but Galbrena has two fires. There's the normal orange fire, and then there seems like there's going to be blue fire as well. We've kind of seen this blue theme with Galbrena, so it will be interesting to see if she has both color flames, or if she just has a standard orange flame, or actually a blue flame. Personally, I hope she has the blue flames. We can also see Galbrena's pistol, or double barrel shotty, if you've seen the cutscene from the end of Augusta's main story quest part. So because Galbrena has a pistol, clearly she is going to be a rectifier user, and because we have flames everywhere all around us, then that obviously means she's going to be Glacier, just how Wuthering Waves works. But on a real note, she is most likely going to be our third fusion pistol user. Yeah, it's like Spectra has all the rectifiers, Fusion has all the pistol users. On this dude here, I'm going to call him Bob, and you'll see later in the video why I call him Bob. There is this snake over here, the same serpent snake that we see on Galbrena's earrings. This has led to the speculation that Galbrena represents or is partially inspired by Jormungandr from Ragnarok, or the Prophecy of Ragnarok. There's a lot of parallels, and I've covered this in many of the other videos of Ragnarok and what's been happening in Septimont and this 2.5 onwards in Septimont and Rinascita. So I won't cover that again because we have more details and other details to cover. So the first hidden detail, and you probably all got this, is the horse here, or Imperator, in the background. And with Imperator is what looks like either Galbrena or I would say Kartathea. Most likely Galbrena, but I say Kartathea because of the link to Imperator. But because this is Galbrena's strip marketing, this is most likely Galbrena. There's also angel wings here, and we know that Galbrena has angel wings. In the top right, there is a serpent. So this is more of the serpent form, probably of this. We do know from the drip that Galbrena hunts monsters, so this may be one of the monsters that Galbrena has hunted before. Now, one thing to note, on drip marketing, text that is on pieces of clothing is never ever rendered. So there is text here, but it's not fully rendered. You will never be able to read it. There is text on the left side of her pants or shorts. And lastly, there's text on the shells that she loads into her shotgun or pistol, which we'll cover because it does have quite a deep meaning. Alright, so here we're at the cutscene for some more hidden information. So right here, Kuro seemed to have conveniently covered the words that, or covered the pieces that include the words, but later on we do kind of see it. Taken about an hour and a half to figure out what these words are because they were so blurred, and then you like and it was this constant back and forth trying to figure out what shape the blurred letter is trying to represent. So after this little cloud asks what prey do we want to hunt this time, Galbrena reloads her shoddy, and on the left side pants you can see some text. Now this is a lot clearer than a lot of the other angles, but basically this is an F, a capital F, and then over here is a W. If you know the Renacetan transcript, you'll know that the F and the W are pretty similar, except the W has a smaller curve over here and a little piece sticking out in the top left. So this says a fire walk with me if you see the full left side. Now there are a few things that are pretty interesting when Galbrena loads the shoddy shells into a double barrel. The first thing to note is that it's a shotgun shell that she's loading, whereas here on her leg she has 5 556 bullets. I would say maybe 762, but 762 is much longer. Anyway, she has bullets on her legs, but she loads shotgun shells into her pistol. Something rather interesting I wanted to note. And you also probably see it now, but on the shotgun shells, or the casing for the shell, you can see the rinascita transcript. So maybe this is confirmation that Galbrena is from Rinascita and was just traveling or away from Rinascita all this time. The letters here are mirrored vertically, so you first have to flip them before you can make out what they say, but this says fire, F-I-R-E. And the other thing to note, let me see if I can get the best angle, is the symbol on the cartridge. I think this is the best angle. You can very clearly see this is a snake or serpent winding around a straight line, probably a bullet path, and then the circle would be the barrel of a gun, which is kind of weird because unless this is a slug, maybe it's a slug round. Yeah, it's just weird. If it's a bullet line coming from a shotty shell, that would need to have a slug round in it. And then Yomangunda, the serpent Bob is coming out of this. Then Galbrena does her thing with her little action shot. And something cool, I just want to point out that in the inside of the barrel, you can actually see what looks like snake scales or serpent scales. I think it's a nice touch to actually render that in on the inside of the pistol. Probably because Galbrena is going to have some action shot of her doing this in a cutscene. And it just looks good to have a nice pattern instead of a solid color. Alright, I got a bit of a better angle on her shorts now. You can clearly see fire, walk with me. And if you try and get a good view of this, like over here, it probably doesn't render well on YouTube. But over here, there is a slight gap. So yeah, there is a bit of a gap here that suggests this is 2 words. So if you Google Fire Walk With Me, you'll find this movie, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. And this is the prequel to the series that released later or before this. Now, what I've read about this movie, because I haven't seen it and I don't know anything about Twin Peaks, there is a poem in the movie that uses the exact line, Fire Walk With Me. The full poem goes, "Through the darkness of futures past, the magician longs to see, one chance out between 2 worlds, fire walk with me." This poem basically tackles the duality of fire to both purify and destroy, and the concept of possession, which is symbolized with Galbrena. The supernatural being that possesses one of the characters in the movie goes by the name of Bob, and that's why I'm just calling the serpent Bob until we know the actual name. There are other themes of duality as well in the movie, one specifically called Garmonbosia, which is pain and sorrow. So when we try and look at duality in terms of what we've seen from Galbrena, there are 3 major points. One is Galbrena and her serpent. The second is her double barrel shotgun literally having 2 barrels, which could be a sense of duality or a play on the sense of duality. And the third one, which is the biggest one, and it also ties in with the theme of the movie, we see that 2 worlds in Rinascita are severed when Galbrena's chapter takes place. We see Leviathan's gem going between the 2 worlds and then it's severed. Now from the first teaser that I think released in 2.3 or 2.4, we see this building here. And in the most recent teaser from the version 2.6 special program, at the very end, we see the full form of this building. So because of the Rinascitan text, we assume that Galbrena is actually Rinascitan. And by what she says, that Rinascita, it's been a while.
It's been a while, Rinascita.
It suggests that Galbrena was elsewhere. So perhaps Galbrena was in an alternate reality. As it said, she's been to hell and back. Whether she was physically in hell or whether it's just a saying, we don't know yet. We'll obviously learn about that when she is released. But otherwise, let me know your thoughts down below and I will see you in the next video.